Hey you guys, it's Charlie, and today I will be showing you guys how to get this beautiful full beat shook to the core look. Okay, so guys, I'm totally kidding. This is my full face using only products I dislike video. And if you guys want to see how it got this messy, keep on watching. Okay, so the first thing I have on the list of products that I don't like is primer. And I have this Tarte BB tinted treatment primer, and it's not necessarily awful, it didn't really work for me. I don't really like the texture of it. It kind of reminds me of the Smashbox Photo Focus, and it's just kind of like has like almost a powdery texture, and I just feel like it's a little too dark for my skin tone. Yeah, and it's more like a foundation, or like, yeah, oh my god, I forgot how bad this was. And the smell, it like smells like paint, like, oh god, oh no, why? Okay, so now that I've blended this in to the best of my ability, I'm going to move on to foundation. So this is the Bobbi Brown Skin Foundation SPF 15, and I actually used a lot of it because at the time Fenty hadn't come out with a foundation yet, and this was the only foundation that actually matched my skin tone. But it's just like not that full coverage, and it's just like not that pretty, I guess. It doesn't give you like a flawless like finish like my Fenty does, but I'm just gonna go in and use it. And I'm actually gonna be using my Morphe like buffer brush because I want to try to give these products the best chance that they can. I want to try to make this actually look good in the end. Yeah, see how it's like starting to come off like the primer and like all my redness is peeking through. Okay, so next up for concealer, I'm getting like triggered like even thinking about this. So I actually got this in my Ipsy. This is the Aurora with Ipsy collaboration Pro Cover Up Concealer in the shade Pale Ecru 50. And with this product, it's like one of those that are actually awful. Like there's nothing I can do about it. And it literally like had zero coverage, and it just completely wiped off anything I had, like any foundation underneath. Like, it's just, oh, it's so bad. Oh, yeah, oh no. I'm gonna try to blend this out the best I can, but if you guys can see, it's like leaving like a patch. Like, it's just, yeah. It's like not even gonna blend out. Why did I do this? So now, for powder, I'm gonna be using the Flashback Mary Holy Grail powder, the NYX HD Studio. And I used to use this a lot when I was younger and just starting out with makeup, and I didn't take a lot of flash photos. You can't really tell like that there's flashback here or anything. It looks like it nicely set my face, you know, it actually kind of fixed the concealer mishap. I mean, nothing can fix this, there's like no coverage whatsoever. But I will insert a flash photo here so you guys can see what I'm talking about and why I really dislike this powder. Exactly. So next, what I have is this Hikari shimmer bronzer in the shade Flush, and I'm technically not going to use this as a blush because it's designed to work as a bronzer. And I got this in my Ipsy, and just none of the shades work for me. Sometimes I use them for eyeshadow, but even then it's kind of powdery and just I'm not like a huge fan of it. I'm gonna be using my Tarte Unicorn brush for this. It just, oh, it's so red. Like, I mean, I don't really need any because this foundation is like 3 shades too dark, but you know, it's whatever. Next, for blush, I have this NYX Whipped Fouet. I don't know if that's part of it, but it's a lip and cheek color. So I'm gonna be using this as blush, and I like never reach towards like cream products, like cream highlighters, cream contour, cream blush, just because I feel like they get cakey. This just doesn't feel right at all. Like, I don't know how much is too much. I don't. And I'm just gonna use my Sephora VIB Rouge brush because I use this for blending out like cream contour or cream blushes, like when I actually do use them. Okay, now let's move on to the brows. So now for brows, I just have two products, and these aren't necessarily awful. I don't get the point of the products. I feel like they're kind of like useless. I don't know, that sounds kind of mean, but like I don't know, they are. So this is the Rimmel London Brow Shake Filling Powder, and I just don't know how I feel about it. It just so this is the tube. It's on like a stick, and you're just supposed to put it like on your brows. I mean, a few times I used this with like a small brush for like freckles. It's just like super hard to use. Like I wish it was like either like a flat brush, you know, like what I usually use to fill in my brows. And I mean, the product itself is not horrible. I just feel like they could have done a better job like with the packaging and how to use it. But the next brow product I have is this Highbrow by Benefit. And I personally don't really get the point of this product because I usually use like a matte shadow if I'm doing like a natural look, or I'll just use like a highlighter. And like, I think this is around like $19. And I just feel like it's not really worth that much when you could get like a $2 shimmery eyeshadow or like a $2 matte eyeshadow. If that, put it like here. You could even get like a stick concealer. I don't know if that's a thing. And to blend this out, I'm gonna be taking my Sigma E60 brush, which I use for blending out like eyeshadow bases and like eyeshadow primer. So the next thing I'm gonna move on to is my eyes, and I first have this eyeshadow primer, and this is the LA Girl Pro Primer High Definition Eyeshadow Primer. And this, I mean, I haven't used this in so long. I just remember not liking it because I felt like it was, one, too dark, and it was like a little cakey on the eyeshadow. It made it crease really bad. Yeah, it's just too dark. It's like the same color as my tinted primer. So the next thing I'm going to do for my eyes is eyeshadow. And I have two eyeshadow palettes, and these aren't necessarily bad palettes. They're just not as pigmented as other palettes I have. So like, I don't reach towards them as often as I would like my Modern Renaissance, Jaclyn Hill, Juvia's Place, like all those, because they're so pigmented. But these just aren't as rich in pigment as those. So the first one is the Too Faced Chocolate Bonbon Palette. And I actually was so excited to get this when I did. And this was before like Modern Renaissance and everything, and I didn't know. It's not awful. I don't think it's as pigmented as like other palettes. The next one I have is the I Love Makeup Wonder Palette and Chocolate Vice, and the same thing, it's just not as pigmented as my other palettes, but I wanted to have a variety of like colors, you know, because like the Chocolate Bonbon, that's another thing, is it doesn't have like one complete look. I mean, you could, but like it's more of a natural look if you have one complete all-around look, because this pink shade, you could play with that, but it's a shimmer, so I wouldn't really want to put that in my crease here. So the first color I'm going to use is this white right here, and I'm going to take it and just set my eyes. Now I'm going to be taking my Sigma E40 brush, and this is like my favorite like crease blending everything brush. It's just so good. And take this like light brown shade and pop that in my crease and kind of use it as a transition. And now I'm going to take this dark brown shade right here and just kind of deepen it even a little bit more to add drama to cover up the problem that is my face. The next thing I'm going to take from this palette is this golden shimmer shade and just pop that on my lid. Now I'm going to take my Sigma E30 pencil brush, and I'm going to take this like yellowish highlighter shade right here and put that on my brow bone and my inner corner. The next thing I have is eyeliner, and this is the Essence 2-in-1 eyeliner pen. And the reason I don't really like this product is I feel like it just like, it almost turns gray and it just has no staying power to it. And it's not advertised as like waterproof or like long lasting or anything. It's not one of my favorite eyeliners. I forgot how hard it is to use this also. And it gets super thick. Yeah, because it's like a angled like thick, no, Oh, it's so uneven. Oh no, what is... Next for mascara, I have the Rimmel London Shake It Fresh Clump Free Volume. And the thing is, this is just such a liquidy, watery, like mascara. It's just, like, I blink and it just gets all over. It does that. If you want to look like you just got swimming, follow this makeup look. And look. I literally blinked. Alright. Okay, so the next thing I have is lashes, because obviously we're gonna need to cover up this mess that is my eyes now also. And these are the Eyeler Vegas Nay Absolute Allure lashes. And these aren't bad lashes, I just don't like how they look on the eyes. I wish they were a little more like not as spaced out. Like, they kind of just, like, I don't know how to explain, like, there's nothing in between them. Like, they're kind of blocky. This lash glue, the Duo Lash Glue, which is just not good. It just doesn't stay on. I prefer the Benefit Lash Glue because it stays on well, and this is just too liquidy. Like, you have to keep going back in. They're literally going straight out. Okay, yeah, no. So next for highlighter, I have the NYX A Wavy Glow Liquid Highlighter. And the reason it's so dark is because I got this at Gen Beauty and I only got one shade, like, because I got it for free. And it just isn't cute. Like, even if it was a lighter shade, it's just like the formula, and it's really sheer. It's completely blending into, like, nothing. You know, I'm gonna put on another highlighter on top of this because this just, I don't even. So the other highlighter I have is a powder highlighter. This is the Wet n Wild Midnight Moon Mermaid Highlighting Bar. And the reason I don't like this is because it almost has like a green sheen. Like, it's kind of like yellow gold, but it comes off as green. So the next and last part of my face is lips. And I have two things for this, and they're not awful at all. There's certain little things that I don't necessarily like about them. And the first thing is the NYX Liquid Suede Cream Lipstick. And the reason I don't like this is I feel like it's kind of streaky, and it's not as good as other liquid lipsticks that I have. And this is in the shade Soft Spoken. And the other product I have is from MAC, and this is the lip gloss in the shade Little Lovely. And the reason I don't like this is because it has a yellow tint to it. And it looks pretty on certain lipsticks, like I use it usually on top of my brown nudes, and it actually looks really pretty, but it just has like yellow, pink, like, and it almost looks like a film on your lips, and it's just not necessarily my favorite lip gloss. So this concludes my full face using only products that I dislike. And I just want to remind you guys that just because it doesn't work for me doesn't mean that it won't work for you guys. And some of these things honestly aren't terrible. They're just not my favorite things that I would go to and reach towards every day. So I hope you guys like this video, and don't forget to comment below your least favorite product from this video or just in general. Like this video and subscribe to my channel. Bye guys!